sound, throat chakra, starting with our opening meditation. Before the beginning, all was darkness and all was void. The face of the cosmos was deep and unmanifest. Indeed, not a face at all, but endless nothing. No light, no sound, no movement, no life, no time. All was null, and the universe was not yet created, not even conceived. For there was no form in which to conceive or be conceived. In its emptiness, the darkness fell upon itself and became aware that it was nothing, alone and dark, unborn, unmanifest, silent. Can you imagine the silence of nothing? Can you quiet yourself enough to hear it? Can you listen to the silence within you? Breathe deeply but slowly, for the breath is silent in your lungs. Feel your throat expand with the air coming in. Listen for nothing. Listen for the quiet. Listen deep within yourself for the place of stillness. Slowly breathe into this void a deep and peaceful breath. In its infinite quiet, darkness fell upon itself, and in its emptiness knew itself to be alone, and alone it desired another. In this desire, a ripple moved across the void, to fold and fold again upon itself, until it was no longer empty, and the void was full with birth. In the beginning, the great unmanifest became vibration in its own recognition of being. And that vibration was the sound from which all other sounds were born. It came from Brahma in his first emanation. It came from Savarti in her eternal answers. In their unions, the sound arose and spread through all the void and filled it. And the sound became one, and the sound became many, and the sound became the wheel and turned the worlds into the dance of life, forever singing, always moving. If you listen, you can hear it now. It is in your breath. It is in your heart. It is in the wind, the waters, the trees, and the sky. It is in your own mind, in the rhythm of each and every thought. From one sound does it all emerge, and from one sound shall it return, and the sound is Aum. 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 Chant it now inside you quietly. Let it build within your breath. Let the sacred sound escape you, moving on the wings of air. Rhythm building, deep vibration, rising up from deep within. Chant the sound of all creation. Sound that makes the chakras spin. Louder now the voice arises, joins with other sounds and chants. Deeper now the rhythms weaving all into a sacred dance. Rhythms pounding, voices growing, echoing the dance of life. Sounds to words and words to music, riding on the wheels of life, guiding us along our journey, Moving spirit deep within, chant the voice that is within you. This is where we must begin. Up from silence, breath and body, calling now into the void. Hear its answer in the darkness. Fear and pain have been destroyed. Brahma is the first vibration. Savarti is the flow. Sound unites us in our vision, harmonizing all we know. Soon the silence comes again with echoes of primordial sound, purifying all vibration, echo of the truth profound. So I'm going to read the chapter on resonance. Oh, stretch my legs out a little bit. Ow. Okay. Let's see here. Resonance. At the heart of each of us, whatever our imperfections, there exists a silent pulse of perfect rhythm, a complex of waveforms and resonances, which is absolutely individual and unique, and yet which connects us to everything in the universe. The act of getting in touch with this pulse can transform our personal experience and in some way alter the world around us. George Leonard. All sound can be described as waveforms, vibrating at a particular frequency. Rhythm entrainment, also known as sympathetic vibration or simply resonance, is where two waveforms of similar frequency lock into phase with each other, meaning that the wave oscillate together at exactly the same rate. The resulting wave is a combination of the two original waves. It has the same frequency, but increased amplitude. Amplitude is the distance a wave travels from crest to trough. In sound waves, increased amplitude means increased energy and volume and is an amplified music. In other words, power and depth are increased when the wave forms are in resonance. We can understand this by paying a visit to a shop that sells grandfather clocks. Suppose we walk in and none of the clocks have been wound. The shopkeeper, assuring us that the clocks do indeed work, goes around and winds each clock, setting the pendulum in motion. At first, these 1-second tick-tock swings of pendulum are not coordinated with each other, but may be off by a half or a quarter second. As time passes, we notice that there are fewer ticks and tocks. Soon, all the pendulums are swinging back and forth in unison. Their rhythms have become entrained. Two oscillating vibrations, if they are near enough to each other in frequency, will eventually entrain. Musical choirs, for example, will hold their last note until the voices reach resonance. If you have a trained ear, you can perceive these pulsations as subtle beats. And then they just have a picture of constructing interference of sound waves. It's what gives the clean, clear ring that echoes through the auditorium when the note is cut off. The sound waves have locked into phase with each other, creating a resonance that is pleasant to experience. The principle of rhythm entrainment also occurs with just one wave, triggering a vibration in a resting source. If, for example, we both have violins tuned to concert pitch, I can set the D string on your violin, vibrating merely by playing my own D string nearby. This is how tuning forks are used in remote control television units. When we push the button, it strikes a tone that is remotely activated in the TV set several feet away. While similar waves will lock into phase with each other, creating resonance, waves of differing frequency may instead create dissonance. A pure tone of a flute, for example, is coherent sine wave, which will tune to other flutes. The noise of a bus is many complex sound waves that are dissonant. People who live in the same household become rhythm entrained to each other's subtle vibrations. It has been long known that women who live together long enough will tend to menstruate at the same time of the month. It happens with women who work together too. Couples married for a long time often come to look alike, and their speech exhibits similar rhythms. As a culture, we become rhythm entrained to our neighbors, friends, and peers. We are influenced by our environment, not only in visual, psychological, and physiological factors, billboards, social pressure, air pollution, but on a deep subconscious level of inner vibrations. The Transcendental Meditation Society, more commonly known as TM, has a meditational philosophy based on this principle. They believe that the brainwave rhythms created by mantra meditation can positively influence the world of non-meditators. The more meditators there are, the more likely this rhythm entrainment is to occur. They have even put this assumption to test in Atlanta, Georgia, where every night at a certain hour, meditators agree to meditate. It was shown that there was a remarkable reduction in crime during that hour. All speech has rhythm. This means that conversation is also subject to the principles of rhythm entrainment, with some fascinating implications, as demonstrated by the work of Dr. William C. Condon of Boston University School of Medicine, described below. In order to more accurately see the subtler aspects of communication, Dr. Condon filmed numerous conversations and then analyzed the films at very low speeds, 1/48 second, by breaking simple words into fundamental units of sound, such as the word sound being a, u, n, da, each lasting a fraction of a second. He found that the body movements of both the listener and the speaker were in precise synchronicity with the voice at all times that communication was occurring. These movements might be a raising of the eyebrow, a tilt of the head, or a flexing of a finger. With each new set of sounds, a new set of movements would occur. What's most amazing about this is that the listener's movements were entrained to the speaker rather than occurring as a delayed response. Dr. Condon makes this comment. Listeners were observed to move in precise shared synchronicity with the speaker's speech. appears to be a form of entrainment, since there is no discernible lag even at 1/48th second. It also appears to be a universal characteristic of human communication, and perhaps characterizes much of animal behavior in general. Communication is thus like a dance, with everyone engaged in intricate and shared movements across many dimensions, yet all strangely oblivious that they are doing so. Even total strangers will display this synchronization. He further describes how the content of the message only seems to come across once entrainment occurs. Before that point, there is often misunderstanding. During the 60s, George Leonard and Dr. Price Cobbs, a black psychiatrist, conducted weekend interracial encounter groups where black and white participants had marked variations in their speech rhythms. Participants were encouraged to pour out their resentments, fears, and anger. The beginnings of the marathon would be discouraging and painful, but at a certain point in the weekend, they would find rhythms approaching fever pitch, with everyone talking and shouting and stamping their feet, reaching a fevered crescendo they describe. Near the end of the section, some of the shouts and curses began turning to laughter. Then a strange thing happens. The entire group suddenly stops, then begins again, then stops, then begins, and more quietly, all in perfect rhythm. After this encounter resumes with a new tone of tenderness and ease. It's as if the pendulum of understanding are swinging together, the heart cells beating as one. It was not until the group entered resonance that communication really began to occur. Perhaps communication is really a rhythmic dance rather than a stimulus response phenomenon, as we usually think of it. For we see that listener is not reacting to speaker, but is instead resonating with speaker when communication is truly occurring. Further studies by Dr. Condon examined the behavior of disturbed and autistic children in regard to their auditory rhythm entrainment. The children showed a time lag response between the listener and the speaker, and acted as if they were corresponding to an echo of the original sounds. Their micro movements put them out of harmony with the world around them, hence the feeling of alienation and confusion that characterizes this condition. George Leonard, in his analysis of this data, concludes that our ability to have a world depends on our ability to entrain with it. This is a very important concept for understanding the fifth chakra. If we are unable to entrain with the vibratory frequencies around us, we cannot experience our connection with the world. If we cannot entrain, we cannot communicate. Without communication, we are isolated, separate, and cut off from the nourishing energy so vital to health. Just as the Hindus believe that sound creates all matter, communication, be it oral, chemical, mental, or electrical, creates and maintains life. Without it, we die, both spiritually and physically. And that is true. That is very true. Perhaps our concept of verbal exchange as compromising the most significant aspects of communication is merely another manifestation of the great Maya, which veils the nature of its underlying reality. Perhaps communication is nothing but rhythmic interchange. Yet language is the tip of the iceberg of communication, and our prime indication of just what and where that iceberg is. If simple vibration can move matter into coherent harmonic patterns, resonant vibrations can only deepen that effect. When we truly resonate with something, it affects us deeply. We can play our own part in the evolution of our environment by being aware of this principle of sympathetic vibration. Our own vibrations may trigger a new thought or vibration in a resting source, awakening consciousness in another. We can choose to contribute good vibrations or bad, those in harmony with the vibrations around us or those out of phase in disharmony. Chakras also exhibit vibrational patterns, spanning from the slower, grosser vibrations of solid matter in the first chakra to the highest and fastest vibrations of pure consciousness. An active chakra in one person can, through its vibrations, trigger the opening of an inactive chakra in another. In San Francisco, there is a place called the Exploratorium, which is filled with scientific exhibits that teach by involving the observer. There is one exhibit there created by Tom Tompkins called Resonant Rings that illustrates sympathetic vibration. The exhibit is a beautiful example of how chakras vibrate in the body. Fastened to a rubber plate over a speaker chamber are several circular bands of metal, each describing a circle varying in size from approximately 2 inches to 6 inches. The observer then can turn a knob that emits sound through the speaker and vibrates the plate at a particular frequency. Adjusting the knob adjusts the frequency. At low frequencies, only the large circles vibrate with a slow, undulating motion, emitting a low-pitched sound. At higher frequencies, only the smaller circles vibrate with a smooth, high-pitched whir. Intermediate frequencies vibrate the middle circles. You can control which circles vibrate by adjusting the knob to different pitches. Our bodies are a plate that vibrates the chakras, the general vibrational pattern of our life. Our actions, thoughts, emotions, eating patterns, and environment sets off the vibration of our chakras. We can activate different chakras by changing the vibrational rhythm of our lives. That which is slow allows the first chakra to open. Higher frequencies stimulate the third chakra. Beyond that, it must be remembered that we deal with subtler vibrations. Moving the physical body faster won't open up the higher chakras, but meditation may allow the brain to process higher vibrations. As we get out of the limitations of time and space, our vibrations are less hindered. On a vibrational level, enlightenment could be thought of as the omnipresence of a waveform with infinite frequency and infinite amplitude. So the next chapter is mantras. I kind of want to read it, but I want to see how long it is first. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to read the one about mantras. The essence of all beings is earth. The essence of earth is water. The essence of water is plants. The essence of plants is man. The essence of man is speech. The essence of speech is the holy knowledge, Veda. The essence of Veda is Samveda, word, tone, sound. The essence of Samveda is Om. Chandogya Abandish. The Chladni disc and the principles of rhythm entrainment show us that sound waves can and do affect matter. It is not surprising that they would affect consciousness as well. This is the basic idea behind sacred sounds used in meditation chanting called mantras. The word comes from man, meaning mind, and tra, which means protection or instrument. Thus, a mantra is a tool for protecting our minds from the traps of non-productive cycles of thought and action. Mantras serve as focusing devices for making the mind one-pointed and calm. The vibration of the mantra has been linked to the vibration of someone shaking your shoulders to wake you up from sleep. A mantra is designed to awaken the mind from its habitual sleep of ignorance. Just as a particular vibration on the Chladni disc created a mandala out of a pile of sand, so can the chanting of simple mantra, such as Om, change our random pile of thoughts and emotions into a cohesive and graceful pattern. It is not necessary to intellectualize the meaning or symbology of a mantra for the sound to have this effect upon us. The rhythm of the sound will work on a subconscious level and permeate our inner rhythms. In fact, it is part of the mantra's magic that one not think about the meaning, for we transcend the fragmented aspects of the conscious mind and perceive an underlying wholeness. If, however, meaning is ascribed to a particular sound, as in the use of an affirmation that we repeat to ourselves every day, such as, I am love, the rhythm of the repetition helps to infuse that meaning into our consciousness. Spoken aloud for a few minutes in the morning, an effective mantra can reverberate silently in the mind all day long, carrying with it the imprints of its vibration, image, and meaning. With each reverberation, it is believed that the mantra is working its magic on the fabric of both mind and body, creating a greater order and harmony. Actions may take on a new rhythm, dancing to the drumbeat of the mantra. If a fast mantra is chosen, it can be used to generate energy and overcome inertia. If a slow, peaceful mantra is used, it can help bring a state of relaxation and calm throughout the day. Seed sounds of the chakras. Hindu metaphysics states that everything in the universe is made of sound. Within each thing there is a symbolic representation of the energy pattern that compose it, known as a seed sound or Biha mantra. These mantras are designed to set the chanting person into resonance with the object of the seed sound. Through knowledge of Biha mantras, one gains control over the essence of that thing and can therefore create, destroy, or otherwise alter it. Hazrat Inyat Khan has said, "He who knows the secret of the sounds knows the mystery of the whole universe." Each chakra has its own associated seed sound, which is said to contain the essence and therefore the secrets of that chakra. As each chakra has its own associated element, we find that the seed sounds are believed to give access to the qualities of that element. The seed sounds or Biha mantras for each chakra are as follows. Chakra 1, Earth, Muladhara, Lam. Chakra 2, Water, Swadhisthana, Vam. Chakra 3, Fire, Manipura, Ram. Chakra 4, Air, Anahata, Yam or Sam. Chakra 5, Ether, Visuddha, Ham. Chakra 6, Anja, Light, Om. Chakra 7, Saharasa, Thought, no mantra. The M in each of these sounds is said to represent the maternal and material aspect of the universe. The A sound, in turn, represents the Father, non-material, I'm Earth, is a heavy closing sound, while H in Ham, Ether, is a light, airy, ethereal sound, and R, Ram, Fire, is an energetic, fiery sound. In addition to the seed sounds, each chakra has a particular number of petals, each of which is named by a letter of the Sanskrit alphabet. Typically, consonants have come to the spiritual or etheric aspects. Nope, I missed this line here. Typically, consonants have come to reflect the hard material aspects of the world, while vowels represent the spiritual or etheric aspects. Chakra 5 then is the carrier of the vowel sounds, as only vowels appear on its petal. Control of these letters is said to be in the hands of the goddess Kali, whose name means time. Kali is the destructive aspect of the Hindu goddesses, who destroys the world by removing the letters from the petals of the chakras, hence removing sound or speech. Without the sound, that is the essence of all things, nothing can exist. We are not helpless victims of disharmonious vibrations, and we can send out vibrations of our own. The uttering of mantras is a way of taking control of our rhythms and guiding the development of our minds and bodies at the fundamental etheric level. The following table lists a few commonly used mantras and their purposes. This list is minute in comparison to the possibilities that exist for effective mantras. The importance of a mantra lies in its rhythm and overall vibration. Mantras are experienced within. You can perceive which ones are effective for you as you try them out. It does, however, take some time for a mantra to become fully effective. Take one on for a week or a month to fully assess the real benefit. This is Om or Aum, the great primordial sound, the original sound from which the universe was created, the sound of all sounds together. For Christians, the mantra Amen is similar to Om. Om, Ah, Hum, 3 syllables of great power used for the following purposes: to purify an atmosphere prior to embarking upon a ritual or meditation, or to transmute material offerings to their spiritual counterparts. Om Mani Padme Hum, the jewel of the lotus resides within. Mani Padme represents the jewel in the lotus, the essential wisdom lying at the heart of the Buddhist doctrine, the divine essence. While Hum represents the limitless reality embodied within the limits of the individual being, Hum unites the individual with the universal. Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha, Tibetan Smaller Heart Sutra. I am that I am. An English version to also designed to unite the individual with the universal. Om Namah Shivaya. In the name of Shiva, one of the many mantras uttering God names. Any god or goddess name may be used to create a mantra. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna, a popular pagan chant of goddess names. From Charlie Murphy's record, The Burning Times, subsequent verses can be added to this for the god: Neptune, Osiris, Merlin, Manonan, Helios, Shiva, Horned One. The earth, the water, the fire, and the air return, 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 return. Along the same lines as the goddess mantra above, this is also a ritual chant for acknowledging the elements. There are thousands of chants and mantras from different cultures and religions around the world. Some have similarities of tone and rhythm, while others do not. The deepest value of a mantra has to do with how much we invest in it, how much we use the sound in our meditations, in our work, in our thoughts throughout the day. If many people use a common mantra, then the sound collects resonance on subtle planes and becomes more potent. Each time we use a mantra, we become more entrained with it. While there are mantras that have been used for centuries to create particular effects, there is nothing wrong with making up your own mantras. Affirmations, put into the form of mantras, have a more powerful effect, for in any language, words are a form of the object's eternal structure. Thus, the affirmation, I will be strong, carries within it the particular aspects of strength we are seeking. However, the affirmation, I am strong, creates even more strength by only a slight change of words. Mantras must be chosen carefully to create the effects we want. Mantras have long been a secret esoteric tradition in the most mystical schools. Their power is subtle and is usually not even detected by the insensitive or uninitiated. Their power is felt through experience only. Their use employs only the simple, idiot-proof technique of repetition, and their benefits can be felt by any sincere seeker. They are a basic fundamental key, allowing human beings to unlock some of the mysteries of our own inner harmony. Vowel sounds and the chakras. The seed sounds for each chakra listed previously only differ in their consonants. So, the sustained sound of the vowel for each sound is the same except chakra 6. What I have found to be far more effective for resonating the chakra is working with the various vowel sounds. While research has shown differences from one system to another, the following list represents most common correlation of different systems. You can best validate this by chanting the sounds yourself and experiencing which chakras seem to vibrate with which sounds. Feel free to experiment. Your own chakras may resonate slightly different might resonate to slightly different tones. These sounds are equally effective, if not more so, when used as a silent mantra or as a meditation device. Pick the chakra or chakras you want to work on most and use the vowel sound to help awaken them. Maladuhara, which is your root chakra, is O as in Om. Svadhisthana, U as in cool. That's your sacral chakra. Ooh. Manipura, A as in father. Ah. That's your solar plexus. Anahata, E as in play. A. Isudaha, I as in seed. E. That's your throat chakra. Ajna, and Sahasra, as in sing or just silence for Christ consciousness. Okay, we're going to read about telepathy tomorrow. That's it for today.